Imagine you go to a job 5 days out of the week, maybe even 7 if you include weekends. You can't stand this job. You hate this job with all of your heart, but you still go because you have bills, you have insurance. You sit in a vehicle for an hour and a half to get to work amongst road raged drivers who don't know you, but they hate you because you're moving too slow. Then you come back to your car to sit back in traffic to get home, only for a few hours where you sit in illusioned peace, thinking you're safe. But then again, you have to wash, rinse, repeat again. You are in the Twilight Zone. Sorry, guys, that was my impression of Rod Sterling, Twilight Zone. But let's get to it. What are we talking about? Why did I do that intro? We're talking about why it is so depressing to work a 9 to 5 in 2025. Let's get to it. Before I get into it, though, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. So let's talk about it, because there's a lot of things to unwrap here. It never used to be this bad. Me growing up, and I'm watching the adults in my life. I'm watching them work their job. And of course, they may have not liked their job, but things were different back in the day. I feel like you didn't need all of these jobs just to survive. Just to survive. And this is what's going on in this country now. People have multiple jobs. And you would think people would be balling out right now because of these jobs. Nope. People barely have their head above water right now. They're gasping for air. And I'm talking about with 3 jobs and probably a side hustle. People are struggling. And the mental burnout that it's causing is egregious. It's egregious. And you would think things would get better. But unfortunately, right now, it's getting worse. Because the price of living, the cost of living, has increased. Inflation all around, everything is just going up. The food quality is getting worse. They're poisoning us with the food quality on the shelves. If you guys are not reading ingredients at this point, I don't know what to tell you. You can't just put anything in your mouth and say, I'm fed. You can't do this anymore. But back to the subject, because that's another topic in itself. There's so many things going on with jobs in general now. It's such a bad culture in general. Like, you may be lucky to find one that you can tolerate, but it's becoming to a point where it's becoming worse. It's becoming harder to tolerate these jobs. It really is. It's becoming worse. Because with the job culture, the politics that's going around, all of these things that they're creating to make more work for their employees. Same pay, but way more work. That's doing something to a lot of people's mentality. But yet we just go on that hamster wheel because we have no choice. We do have a choice. Don't get it twisted. We do have a choice. But we have to understand our mentality has to change in order for us to know there is a choice. Mentally, you have to break free from the 9 to 5 cycle. Mentally, that's the first step. If your mentality is always attached to the hamster wheel, you will never find the key. You will never find the key to unlock your mentality from this hamster wheel if you don't start thinking outside this box. Let's go into a few reasons why people are just feeling so depressed with the 9 to 5 trap. Lack of support. Have you ever been in a situation in your job where you felt like no one heard you? I'm not talking about you spoke up and no one actually physically heard you. I'm talking about you spoke up. They looked right at you. They looked through you and turned their head the other way. So what y'all doing tonight? Something like that. Like they just completely ignored what you were trying to say. I've been in situations like that where my voice wasn't the most important one. So the words that I was trying to express didn't seem to convey the message that I wanted. There's a lot of people that feel left out. There's a lot of people that feel like their voice is not important enough. And when you treat your employees, and let me tell you one thing, employees are the backbone for a lot of these companies. The backbone, the spine. They're the ones that's consolidating the foundation of these businesses. That's why these businesses are able to thrive the way they are, because of the employees, the ones that put in the blood, sweat, and tears. So when you make your employees feel like their voice is not important, they become depressed, they become discouraged, they feel like they don't matter. And quite honestly, the quality of work goes down. Because you make anyone feel like they're not important, especially for a long duration. What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, they'll keep coming back unless they find something different, but they'll come back. But are you getting the best out of your employees? And the answer is no. The answer is no. You're not going to get the best out of your employees because you've treated them like shit for so long, but yet you expect them to give you the highest quality of work. The math is not mathing. The math is not mathing at all there. I don't understand it. Inflexible hours is the next one. Inflexible hours. How many times have you been through something personal in your life and you feel like your employer wouldn't budge based on what you told them? You would tell your employer, listen, something came up in my life. It's very important for me to handle. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to work my same hours. I can work a good amount of the hours, a good portion of the hours, but it has to change because of my personal situation. How many of you guys right now, you think your employer would be budging on that? Would budge on what you just told them? Some maybe will. But for me personally, a lot of employers would tell me, maybe you need to apply for FMLA. They'll try to give you that option. Or they'll just say, you know what, we're not able to do that. We're not able to switch it. And I'm talking about you're asking these employers and you've been there for years. It's not like you're just new. But in my opinion, even if you are new, there should be something in these job descriptions that understands that employees have a life. Employees have a life. Things happen in life where you need flexibility. Because guess what? They expect you to be flexible. Professional development, when things change and staff is short, they expect you to be flexible. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. When staff becomes short, what do? A, hire new people, or B, tell you to pick up the slack? What answer do you think it is? A or B? B, tell you to pick up the slack. And guess what? The slack that you pick up, it doesn't matter how heavy that slack is. You're going to get paid the same way and you're going to have to do more work. That's the unfortunate thing. And that's why a lot of people are getting so burnt out, because they're expected to do so much more than what they signed on for. And this is the reality many people are facing right now, where the employers just keep asking for so much more. And this is not me complaining. Again, this is me telling you like it is. and bringing more awareness to the situation. So if you have a job, you need to be looking out for these things. And you need to be making a plan B. Because unfortunately, we're living in a time when the hamster wheel is not plan A anymore. Like it can be here temporarily because we all got immediate bills. So we need money to come in, right? But in the long run, what is your plan B? Because your plan B needs to become plan A one day. And this is someone who went through some stuff to let you know plan B is going to be more important than plan A. One day, but you got to prioritize it. You got to make time for plan B. You got to let yourself know how important plan B is. Because if you only have plan A, you're always going to work for someone else. You're always going to have that mentality that says, I got to jump back on the hamster wheel. Let's get to the next one. Health risk. This is a big one. Health risk. A lot of us are going to get sick. Physically sick. Mentally sick. And guess what? You're going to need some PTO time. But here's the thing. They don't realize, or they don't care to realize. With all the work that they're giving you, with all the extra work that they're telling you, you have to take care of because we're so short-staffed. So you have to do extra work. Or we have some new policies. So now all staff have to be mandatory to do certain things. So now your workload has doubled or tripled. So now you're doing more and more things. You're taking less and less breaks. And in turn, what that does is stresses your mind out so much that it physically makes you sick. And now when you're sick and you don't have any PTO because you spent it all because you got sick, now they're looking at you like, why did you use all your sick days? Now they want to try to penalize you when you can't come into work. You see how that works out? Because they gave you so much work and you got yourself sick. They're going to blame you because you use all your time. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? So now you're sitting there sniffling with a tissue in your hand, sneezing, coughing, people looking at you like you're crazy, like you shouldn't be at work, which you shouldn't be. Looking at you crazy. Nobody wants you near them. But yet, you're so worried about your time. You're so worried about your job. So now you're forcing yourself to be into that physical building. And that's not going to do you any good because now you're overworking your body. Your immune system can't take that. Your immune system wants you to slow down. Your immune system wants you in bed, drinking some soup. But yet here you are, being a superhero for that job. Let's get to another one. Here's a big one. The younger generation. Do you see the younger generation? I feel like they're getting it. They're understanding that this job ain't shit. Like, I'm going to come here. I'm going to do whatever needs to be done, but I'm not going to work hard for this. I'm not going to kill myself for this. That's their mentality. That's a lot of their mentality. And they're not afraid to take a day off. They are not afraid. They will take a day off the first week they're hired. You think they scared? Their mentality is different. Different compared to our mothers and fathers when they were growing up, when they were working and we were kids. They didn't have that kind of mentality. Their mentality was, I need to go to work. I need to provide. I need to do all of this. Not saying that the younger generation doesn't want to provide, but they're quicker to take a day off. They're quicker to quit a job. The older generation, they wouldn't be so quick to quit a job. They're there to work. They are there to work their job. A younger person that's coming in, they could get hired the week of November. They will find another job in the beginning of December and be like, deuces. They will leave that job in a heartbeat. And I like that mentality. And let me tell you why I like that mentality. Because the day and age when we live, where we live now, what's going on in this country now, they have shown their true colors. They have shown their whole ass to us, letting us know we don't matter. We are numbers. And we can scratch your number anytime we want to and pull out another number. They've shown that to us on a daily basis. So if we continue to be loyal to people that do that, we are going to be the losers constantly. They'll sit there and tell you with their face hanging out, tell you to your face, you need to give me 2-week notice before you quit this job. But yet if they want to fire you, they don't give you 2 weeks to look for a job at least. Make it make sense, Lord. Make it make sense. I can't make any sense of it, can you? They want all the courtesy in the world when you're about to do something, but they can't give you the smallest percentage of courtesy when it comes to their business. You got to understand who you're playing with. They're not playing with us at all. They'll play in your face, but they're not playing with us. And that's why I respect the younger people's mentality, because they know I'm not putting up with that. I'm going to come here, do what I need to do for how long I want to do it. And when I get sick of it, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out the door. On to the next. We can learn something from that mentality. The adults that are more so disciplined to stay at a job and tell themselves, I'm going to continuously work this. Because that's how my parents did. And their parents did. These younger generation, I'm telling you, they're not doing that. And we can learn a thing or two from them because they're not putting up with any kind of treatment. The minute you even look like you're going to fix your mouth to say something crazy, they out the door. They are out the door. And maybe some of them, they're out the door on a, very quickly, on a quick basis. But a lot of them, they set themselves up. They're like, you're going to disrespect me? All right, I'm going to this place. Bam, they got the job. We can learn something from that. We can learn something from that. And let me tell you a little story. We have to understand when a job is not for us. Don't continuously work that job. There's a time when this one dude in the school system, they told this dude to go, and this was during training. This is a training period. They told this dude to go to the copy machine, get some papers, and come back. You know that scene in Friday where he told Smokey, Ice Cube's character, he told Smokey, come back. He told him that. It was similar to that. And this man went to the copy machine, disappeared, never came back. This was training. He was supposed to come back and finish his training. Disappeared for the rest of the day. That story has been the funniest headline. But at the same time, I don't blame him, because I'm looking at the situation and I'm saying to myself, he probably thought better. He probably said, you know what? This ain't for me. I'm not even going to waste my time doing this. He probably threw the copies in the garbage on the way out. That's how we got to think of it in a way. We cannot entertain the foolishness. If we feel like this is not for us, we got to be real with ourselves. I understand sometimes you got to stay in something you don't want to stay in, but we got to be honest with ourselves. If this situation is not for me, I got to be honest with myself, because in the long run, it's going to bite me in the ass. So I got to be honest with myself. So again, guys, plan B. Let's start looking at plan B. What are you going to do to replace plan A? Because plan A ain't working. Plan A is temporary. And plan A is the 9-to-5s today. We need to figure this out because plan A isn't working. What is going to be your plan B? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What is your plan B? What are you going to do? What are you thinking about doing that's going to help you evolve in this world of 9-to-5s? Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, guys. Peace.